Most exciting test flights many of us have seen in a long time. The Texas team has several more suborbital test vehicles in build to roll out to the pad in the very near future. It's an inspiring time for the future of human spaceflight. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you'll join us for the next test flight of Starship 11. We're at T-minus 5 minutes to our second launch attempt of the Starship 10 test flight. We counted down earlier today, but the computer stopped the countdown just before liftoff when the total thrust of the Raptor engine slightly exceeded the allowable limit. The SpaceX team determined the engines are good, and we decided to make another launch attempt. This will be a test flight of Starship to an altitude of 10 kilometers.
FC2, please prepare for section 35, OSC, FC1, LVN.
Right on time, and then during the subsonic entry it appears we had good control of the vehicle using the front and aft flap. Seconds. We're down below 2 kilometers. We're preparing to light 3 Raptor engines to begin the flip sequence. It'll culminate with landing on the landing pad in Boca Chica.
Уже не заметил, тут даже не надо, как тогда уже понимаете. Ты что, дроиды что ли? Он тебя понял, что он типа он так не знал. Нет, так вот. Прикольно.
Coming up on T plus 2 minutes, we're getting ready to transition from 3 engines to 2 engines firing on start.
Ну это просто снова повторяет то же самое.
Copy.
Или это с Боки Чики, он туда уже обратно,
To us 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. We have liftoff. FC2, please prepare for section 35, OSC, FC1, LVN.
T plus 30 seconds, Starship 10 has liftoff. It's headed to 10 kilometers on its test flight from Boca Chica.
welcome to my house.
Понимаю, это нонсенс какой-то. Ладно, теплый. Все равно. Что такое вообще? Да что ли холод? Весна же уже все. Батарея включается здесь. Нет, снижает. Ставка. Все, еда закончена. Все отварено. Осталось вот последний риск. Ну, не целое. Вообще
Please come in. I'll take you down to the studio. I'm Imogen Heap and I'm a musician. But more recently, I've been developing these beautiful gloves that help me gesturally interact with my computer so that I can make music on the move, in the flow, and more humanly, more naturally engage with my computer software and technology. So here they are. This is the latest one. This is an earlier one, and these are many other iterations. What this glove enables me to do is access mappings inside my computer so that I don't have to go to a keyboard or a fader or a button. I can use, say, a fader instead of doing this, which is not very expressive or exciting for me or the audience. I can do this. So I'm moving around the scale by going up and down there, it goes down a fifth, or down a fourth. And then I can change the filter like that, and I can go between different sounds by going up and down using the pitch. This is what we call pitch, this is what we call yaw, this is what we call roll. And here, filtering the sound and kind of pitch bending it. And then stopping the arpeggiator and starting it again. So these gloves have traditional bend sensors inside, and this measures this kind of movement. So this may be 0 and this may be 127. And we're also using these fourchettes in here to get that kind of action as well. And when my finger is doing this posture, which is called one finger point, it changes to a different sound. And when my hand's open, it's moving that sound. And if you can hear, it's going from left to right. So these gloves are the more recent gloves and very exciting developments. Everything's in one physical glove rather than needing extra wires and everything. And the reason for that is mainly because of this, the board. But the main difference is it's now Wi-Fi enabled. And also we're trying to separate the hard tech from the soft tech. And at the moment this is kind of in between. This still has the bend sensors, but it's also starting to look into e-textiles, which is electronic textiles. So we can actually get the bend information through the difference in how much the pink bit is rippling. It's really exciting to see what people might do with hacking them. The software is going to be open source and so is the hardware. And we can't wait to see what people do with them. We want to make it available for everyone. They're really exciting, and we really feel that they are going to change the way that we make music.
I was going to talk about rendering, but actually this is something I forgot. To mention in the last video. You'd think that hyperbolic geometry is harder to understand than spherical because it's harder to visualize. And that's true, but when it comes to what you actually see, it's quite the opposite. In general, hyperbolic geometry looks like a more exaggerated Euclidean geometry, because it's hyperbolic. Things appear to get smaller faster, Euclidean geometry. Hyperbolic geometry looks like a more exaggerated Euclidean geometry, because it's hyperbolic. Things appear to get smaller faster, more space fits into the same perceived space, but things seem overall familiar. But let's take a trip to spherical flatland. We'll just say that everything below the equator is underground and everything above is open space. So we can jump up and down and walk around. In fact, if we keep walking in either direction, we'll eventually come back to where we started. But what would you actually see? Let's cast some rays from our perspective to see where they end up. Objects close by aren't really affected much and look like you'd expect. But an object on the other side? Well, look how many of our light rays hit this rock. This tiny object literally on the other side of the world would look enormous in the sky and appear upside down, sort of like a giant magnifying lens. The result is a reverse perspective. Farther away objects can appear larger than closer ones. Also notice that all rays eventually hit the ground. There's no sky per se, at least not when you can see without using fog or a draw distance. Alright, are you ready to go up one dimension higher? We're going to switch to first person now, but all the same things I just talked about in 2D apply to 3D. Should be pretty obvious now why I chose the title of this video. The reverse perspective is obvious. Far away things appear huge and flipped upside down. Take a look at this house. It's pretty normal up close. But now let's go to the opposite side of the level. It's a pretty crazy effect. It's kind of like the house is inside out. The roof is above us and the walls are around us, but not in the way you'd expect. Also, if you walk in a straight line to the left or right, it looks like the world is rotating, even though you're actually going straight. Here I added a fence to divide the level in half. It's a really neat effect. Are you fenced in or fenced out? Anyway, there's a lot of really cool things to explore in spherical geometry, and I still want to leave some things for you to discover when the game comes out, so be sure to add Hyperbolica to your Steam wishlist or subscribe to get the latest updates. And I'll see you all next time.
Ну нет, это паблик. Все оно готовилось, это разное. Эксплуатация дней. 69. 5 класс.
Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke.
Shouldn't we be content to be cosmic sloths, enjoying the universe from the comfort of Earth? The answer is no. Stephen Hawking.
To look to the future, we must first look back upon the past. That is where the seeds of the future were planted. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. Albert Einstein.
Elon Musk sends the first SpaceX Starship to Mars, preparing the way for the first human explorers of the Red Planet. On Earth, digital fabrics are embedded with sensors and displays. Gathering data, they give feedback about the user's health, such as muscle use, sleep habits, and sun exposure. Companies merge digital fabrics with VR gaming, letting users feel vibrations and hot and cold sensations when playing. NASA's Artemis mission launches to begin building a permanent habitat on the Moon. On Earth, building materials are becoming a new generation of smart materials. Bricks double as energy storage cells and are capable of data storage and retrieval. Robotic dogs are employed by fire and rescue services, police, military, and delivery companies. The first humans leave Earth for the Red Planet aboard a SpaceX Starship. The Mars astronauts use VR goggles to help keep them calm during the 7-month journey.
Главное в продвижении на YouTube – это оригинальные видео с понятным призывом к действию. Поэтому YouTube предоставляет инструменты и ресурсы, чтобы помочь бизнесу любого масштаба создать вовлекающую рекламу.
Humans begin to interact with virtual reality artificial life. Living beings in a digital world that learn how to act, move, and interact with humans on their own, creating their own behaviors and way of life. Wearable tech is replaced by subdermal tech, chips that are inserted beneath the skin and link users to their home and robotic devices, giving them control using verbal instructions. People with medical issues are using Neuralink chips to make them better. The chip is able to restore eyesight and help people who are paralyzed to walk again. The Universal Translator is used at the United Nations, reducing the need for human interpreters and translators. Quantum computers are used in high-end chemical engineering. They are able to quickly design new medicines, biodegradable plastics, and building materials. 5G networks carrying vast amounts of data take control of transportation flow systems and self-driving networks to improve urban flow. The interplanetary internet system goes online, creating a computer network in space. The network is made up of landing robots, planet satellites, and Earth ground stations. A Jupiter rover sends data to a Jupiter satellite, which beams it to a Mars satellite that then